Hello, everyone. Hope you guys are doing good. Hey, Lakshmi. Finally, yes, we were having yes. Good.
Yeah.
Nice that you're able to join. Hi, everyone. Thank
Yeah.
you for waiting patiently. We're talking today about mortgages. Very excited. I have with me today Lakshmi. She has a very impressive resume. She's a mortgage agent. She's worked for a major financial institution, and she's been doing mortgages for almost 20 years, right, Lakshmi?
Yeah.
Good stuff. Good.
Make
How
me
you?
feel old, but thank you, Usman, for having me. I'm very excited to be
Good.
on this live Q&A session,
Lovely,
and I'm looking
lovely.
forward to answering all your questions.
Well, I have a lot of questions in the bag, and I'll get right into it because I think we're kind of 9 minutes off because of
Right,
all those technical challenges that we've been happening. So I'm going to
right.
start right off by the first time home buyer questions that I typically, I come to hear from my clients. Like,
Right,
say, I'm a first time home buyer
right.
and I don't have the money for the down payment. Can get my family gifted to me?
Yes, as long as it's your immediate family, the down
Yeah.
payment can be gifted. Absolutely.
Okay. And then perhaps another one is what is the minimum down payment that I need to have to buy a house?
So the minimum down payment is 5% on the first 500,000 of the
Okay.
purchase price, and anything above 500,000, it's 10%. So to give you a quick example, the first 500,000, it will be 25,000, and above, if it's 600,000, then it will be 10,000. So you're looking 35,000 plus the closing cost.
For pretty much a 600,000 house, right?
Yeah,
So
on the purchase price of 600, you're looking at 35,000
plus, say, give or
plus
take
the closing.
1.5, yeah, the closing cost about it. Do I have to pay off all my debts before I could actually buy a house?
Good question.
Yeah,
Yes.
right.
It all depends on your income and debt servicing ratio.
Okay.
So if your income can carry your debt, yes, you do not have to pay your debt off. But sometimes if your debt ratio is too high, if it's
Okay.
not in alignment, then the bank will get you to close some of your debt prior to them financing your mortgage. So they
Okay.
will condition that upon you closing off some of your debt, that they will give you the mortgage, advance the mortgage. So
Got
yes,
it.
yes and no. So it all depends on your income and debt servicing ratio. That's the short answer. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Mhm.
What is minimum credit score that I need to have before I could actually apply for a mortgage?
So if you're looking to go with a A lender, like one of the major banks, they typically do not look at clients less than 650. If your credit score is 650, you still have to have a strong credit bureau. So they look at your payment history, and if your credit record is clean. For example, if
Yeah.
you have bankruptcy and your credit score is 700 within the past 7 years, if you have declared bankruptcy,
Yeah.
it's very unlikely that one of the major lenders will not lend, but there are other lenders. There's always options. That's
There is
all
always
I
options.
want
Makes
to
sense.
reach out to the people and let them know there's always options. Yes, maybe not a major bank, but there
Yeah.
are B lenders and there's private that
Yeah.
always willing to help depending on how bad or how good your credit is, right? So,
Okay.
yeah.
So just to sum it up,
Mhm.
basically, I need to be perhaps having a nice history and
Mhm.
then be around 650. What if I am less than 650? Do I still have a chance?
Yes, you do, as long as you had rebuilt your credit, you have established great credit, and if we can write a strong business case, it all
Yeah.
depends, right? If you have made your payments on time and you're making
Yeah.
your way to repair your credit,
Yeah.
um, it's how you tell the story to the bank. So it's writing a strong business case and basically selling my client to the bank, why you should have a mortgage.
Got
Yeah.
it. Thank you so much. Great.
Mhm.
Now, how do I actually qualify for a first-time home buyer incentive?
Mm, that is a good
Yeah,
question.
right?
It just literally the rules just changed. So now the qualifying income is 4.5 from your income. It used to be four times your income. Now it's 4.5. As well as the minimum income is not 150. They just changed that. I just have to. I had this question on. I knew, like, I have clients call and ask me on this. So it's 4.5 times your income, and you have to be a first-time home buyer. So the CMHC or Genworth or Canada Guarantee, they will give you 5%. Basically, minimum used to be 150. Now it just went up. One second, I just had my notes. Sorry. Yeah, so I'm just going to confirm. Yeah, so I'll just confirm because we literally, they just changed this first time home buy incentive.
Okay. Yeah, so makes sense. Yeah, if it's changed today, then yeah.
Now it's 120. Yeah. Again, you have to qualify. This is not, so people automatically think, oh, I'm a first time home buyer, I can get this incentive. That's not necessarily the case. Yes and no, it all depends, right? How your income and debt servicing ratio, and if you can qualify, and if you are a first time home buyer, and with 5% down, what can you buy that is suitable for your family, right? So we had to look at the bigger picture. But yes, this is something that it is a good program. If you, as long as you are able to qualify, it's great.
Okay, so you said it's up to 400,000?
No, it's now its property is 500,000.
So 500,000 still gives us some, because I'm almost certain, like a month or so ago, it was around 400 somewhere around. Yeah, right. Okay, cool.
Yeah, so they just changed it recently.
So it's 500. Still a good chance, because the rates of the properties, you see how they're going up. There was nothing you could buy for 400,000 in the GTA, right? Perhaps. So maybe they thought about it.
Right. Perhaps, I mean, maybe, if someone is just getting into the first time home by just getting into the housing market, maybe a condo townhouse, right?
That's what it was. Yeah, but yeah, still 400 was a little shy. 5 is good, I'd say. That's where we are. So say I get a mortgage, for how long is my rate locked for?
So from the time the bank issues approval, a commitment, the rate is typically locked in for 120 days.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then say I'm putting an offer on a property and the house is not up to my standard. So would the bank lend me money to fix it?
Yes and no. Most banks have a program. It's called Purchase Plus Improvement.
Yes.
As long as your ratios are within line, the banks can lend you that money. However, keep in mind, you have to have the funds available first. So you can perhaps use a line of credit or borrow funds to do the renovations, and then the bank would refund that money as long as you qualify. The lawyer will hold the funds in trust and refund the money. So it's stage by stage. But yes, most times the insurer would insure a deal like that. It's called a purchase improvement. Yes.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So now let's talk about some penalties, right? So say I'm selling my house before the end of the term.
Right.
Would I incur any penalties? Would the bank, incur any penalties if I'm closing at that point?
So if you're selling your house
and
you're purchasing another home,
you
have the option to avoid the penalty by porting, as long as the bank on your commitment, when you first got the approval, if they said, yes, you are portability is allowed. Some banks do not allow portability and some banks do allow portability. So if you allow portability, you can port your mortgage.
Okay.
Avoid the penalty. However, if the mortgage amount is lesser on the new property, then you pay the penalty for the difference. So that will be one case. But if you sell your home and if you're not buying, if you're just going to go to Florida or decide you're not going to purchase anymore.
Or renting or whatever you want to do, yes.
Right. So in that case, yes, you would pay a penalty. However, you can also prepay to reduce your penalty. So for example, because the bank allows you a certain percentage of prepayment privileges per year, So the smart thing to do is prepay. If you know you're not going to buy, you're just going to, sell and just rent, then just perhaps consider prepaying that percentage that you're allowed to reduce the penalty amount.
Okay,
That's
now,
way around it.
yeah, and thank you. That's a great idea, actually. And my question was in regards to prepayments. The next one. Say I want to prepay my mortgage. Are there any penalties for that, or is it standard? Like, is there something that we could?
So you are allowed, typically, most banks allow up to 20% or 15%
Okay.
payment privileges per year. So they give a couple of options, right? You can prepay 15%, you can match your payment, or you can pay lump sum 15%, right? So
Okay.
yeah. So yes, as long as you're within that percentage, there is no penalty. But if you're exceeding the percentage of prepayment allowed by the bank, then you are going to have to pay a penalty for sure.
All righty. Perfect. Thank you. Some questions about investments. Some of us have questions in regards to how many properties could we have as an investor? Like, how many properties would the A lenders lend us money if I'm an investor? How many properties could I have?
Right. So it all depends. Some lenders allow 4, some allow 6, some don't have a cap.
Okay.
Lenders don't have a cap. To answer the question, an investor, how many properties can an investor have? Unlimited. They can have
Unlimited.
unlimited because there's always options. There's always a lender who is willing to lend you money.
Okay.
But typically, if you're going to A lender or a B lender, they will follow the guideline of you qualifying. So you should be able to qualify to be having multiple properties, right? So
Great. Thank you so much, Lakshmi. One last one is, can I actually borrow funds for my investment property?
yes, you could borrow. It can be borrowed. It could be borrowed from your existing property. You can borrow funds
Okay.
to purchase, or you can borrow funds from a like a RSP line of credit,
Okay.
like not RSP, like an investment, like a secured line of credit. I'm sorry, not RSP,
Okay.
secured line of credit, which is attached to your home. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah. Investment properties you can use borrowed funds. Absolutely.
You could use borrowed funds. So say equity or a secured line of credit. Those are the two. That's what you've mentioned, right?
So you can refinance and access equity from your principal.
Correct. Yeah.
Another investment property.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Okay.
usually
Perfect.
it can be borrowed from you can use an unsecured line of credit or secured. It doesn't matter.
Okay.
Because
Lovely. Well,
the interest could be written off, right?
Lakshmi, thank you so much for answering all my questions. It is always great chatting with you. I'm just going to scroll and see if someone has any questions that they've put in, which no, I think everyone's good. Like me, we've all kind of gained knowledge about mortgages today. Thank you so much for joining. And if you guys have any questions, you could actually get in touch with Lakshmi directly, DM her. Her Instagram is lakshmi.lewis.ca. And, I think we're going to have another run because we should talk about the new stress test and everything. These are questions that I would have for you for our next session. But for now, thank you so much for joining. And you have a wonderful evening. Thank you. You have a wonderful evening and a lovely weekend.
Thank you, Usman. And yes, so let's talk one day about the stress test, and don't allow the stress test to stress you.
I know.
That's
I'm
always
working on
okay.
it. My clients are stressed though. They are stressed. So I have a client, I'm going to tell you, I have a client and they've already got a mortgage, but they're kind of concerned. This could be, you could help me out. She was asking me a question. So they're looking for a property in Burlington, and they actually have, so they got the approval mid-May, just they wanted to have one before June 1st, obviously. So they got it before, and they have those 120 days, right? So she had a question. She's like, Usman, say we buy a property tomorrow and we don't close or in a few weeks, and we don't close within those 120 days, do I have to go through the whole process again? And then would I actually be, looking at the same process for the stress test, or I'd be given some sort of leniency by the bank, right? Who knows? So I'm not sure.
So in that case, so the banks call it, it's 120 days,
Correct.
right?
Yes. Yeah.
So after 120 days, if it's going to be extended to 1 month,
Yeah.
then they are going to requalify on the
So
current,
that, yeah. So
because that approval expires.
on the, well, yeah, exactly. And I had that idea, and I told
Yeah.
her, hey, don't stress right now. We
Mm-hmm.
still have about,
Mm-hmm.
I'd say a week or two. And even if we're putting an offer, we can say, we can have a closing date, which is within the
Mm-hmm.
next 45, 60, 30 days kind of a thing. So it's nothing to worry about right now. I had an idea, but I actually wanted to clarify that with you as well. But thank you so much, Lakshmi, once
Yeah.
again.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining.
No, sorry, no problem. So if they had done just like the very last week of June,
Yeah.
close, and the bank approved you on the 29th
Yeah.
of May, then
Yeah.
you have that extra room, right? I was doing that with a lot of my clients, was closing,
Exactly. Makes sense. Yes.
yeah, closing within like 120 days, but I didn't want to send the deals too early.
Yeah.
Although the clients want to know, am I going to get approved? I'm like, don't worry, trust me. I mean, this is like my 20th year. So don't worry.
Yeah. I know. Good.
Yeah.
Great.
All right. Thank you,
Perfect. Thank
Man.
you so much, Lakshmi. Take care.
Take care.
Take care.
Positive
Bye-bye.
to everyone
I
who.
know everyone. Yes. Yes, certainly. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thanks.
Take
Bye-bye.
care.
Bye. 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 Thank you so much, everyone, for joining. If you have any real estate related questions, please DM me, or if you have any other questions in regards to investments, please feel free to DM me. And you could follow me on my TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, and that is Usman's Life, Usman Z Life, or on Facebook. And Facebook is usmankhan.realty. Thank you so much for joining. Have a wonderful evening and a lovely weekend. Thanks.